Here it is, the Swagger wagon, back on the road, out of the shop, and making money. Hey everyone, it's me, Russ, here at the Boeing Field, Everett, Washington. Chronicles of Rideshare, Seattle. In this video, follow up on the rental, express rental through Lyft. Got the XL back. I'm back to work. It's normal life again, whatever that is. And so covering that as well as the best XL. That question came up in the Uber and Lyft drivers break room, massive Facebook group. So I'm going to talk about that. And minimum wage. Certain cities have minimum wage laws, and in New York, for example, those laws are being enforced, and it's resulting in some Lyft drivers having the app shut down on them. So what do I think about minimum wage? You know, I talked about that a little bit in the rental video. Just the fact that I'm not going to work for $4 an hour, all right, is what I said. Not that I was, you know, being a proponent of minimum wage. I'm not. But, again, you just have to be smart on how you're spending your time. Got my XL back on the road. Yeah, my first day was a Saturday. I got the vehicle on like Friday night and decided I'll make a full day of it on Saturday and see how I do. That Saturday I made about $100 more than I made a whole week in the rental. All right, and I want to give Lyft the benefit of the doubt for the rental because it was a bad week, and I can admit that. All right, but a bad week when you have to cover a, you know, almost $300 bill is something else. All right, it wasn't $300. It was the 260 something, keeping the car for 7 days. Just a lot. It's just a big hump to get over. And your mileage rate is cut down. You know, I don't know if telling people it's free, right, unlimited miles is true. You're not being charged for miles. You're kind of being charged for miles if you're getting paid less per mile for driving the rental. The way the bonuses worked out, the bonus is, you know, and it's a creative way of thinking about it, maybe marketing the idea, is to say, well, you know, it's only $20 a week if your bonuses go towards the rental. That's not necessarily true, because A, you're getting paid less per mile, and those bonuses would go in your pocket if you owned a car. But also, you know, on Lyft's side and Uber's side with fare, Uber also has a Hertz kind of a thing too. They're doing a thing with Hertz, I hear now as well. You have to factor in the fact that, you know, us drivers are driving these cars into the ground. You know, we buy a car, we're putting a lot of miles on them, so it's a sober way of thinking about what we're doing to our vehicles in the future of doing this. Like, is this, I mean, sure, everyone's looking for a good job or whatever, you know, and going to school or something, and you're doing this as a part-time gig, which is great. But yeah, man, racking up those miles on your vehicle, especially if you don't have a lot of car knowledge like myself, it can get really expensive. And yeah, when I first started doing this, I drove a Chevy Sonic, and I'm doing a video on that vehicle very soon. So hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Boeing plant right there. Which XL is the best? This is the one I chose, all right? Why XL, you may be asking. Now, again, I'm in the Seattle market, all right? This is a major metropolitan area. I'm up here in Everett, which is the north end of the Seattle metro area. From Everett to Tacoma, you have around 3.5 million people. All right, that's a major city, and if you're gonna do this, especially if you want to make money at this, it's helpful to be near a major city. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Every market's different, and anyone who tells you you can make a bunch of money doing this without mentioning how markets are different, right, is just trying to get the bonus for having you sign up. All right, and by the way, if you're not a Lyft driver in the Seattle area, below you can click on my invite to become one. But I'm not going to lie to you here, all right? Markets are different. I'm in the Seattle area. So what does it mean to be a XL Lyft driver in the Seattle area? For me, it means more money, all right? I'm making $200-$300, especially in the summer, man. I'm going to make $300-$400 more per week on a 40-50 hour week than I would driving a normal, my little Chevy Sonic car that I had before, which got great gas mileage, right? This does use a little more gas, and you need to factor that in. We also, to answer that question, we also do normal rides as well. So we do normal Uber rides, we do normal Lyft rides. I do mostly normal Lyft rides and Uber rides. It's another thing where I favor Lyft in the Seattle area here, is I tend to get more XL rides with Lyft than I did with Uber. I don't drive for Uber at all anymore. That was just my personal choice. I like hitting those ride bonuses that Lyft puts out there. And when I was switching back and forth, getting paid less per mile to drive for Uber just because I'm a little ADD and didn't want to wait, right? Lyft keeps me busy enough, all right? And if I'm not jumping back and forth, I'm hitting ride bonuses that I wouldn't if I jumped back and forth all the time. So I'm not doing that. And again, I drive an XL. But I think that it's smart to drive an XL. Now, in the winter, all right, once summer, like the weather's nice, it's tourist season, a lot of people come to Seattle to visit. I'm driving a lot of families. Once tourist season's over, the XL rides do come down quite a bit. Saturday, for example, I worked last Saturday. I did as many, if not more, XL rides than I did normal rides. Sunday as well. I worked a Sunday, previous Sunday before last Sunday, and I did a lot more XL rides that day, which almost never happens except for in the summer around here, right? And those rides pay almost double the fare. So in order to entice passengers to get an XL, they reduce the cost down just a little under what it would cost to do like 2 Lyfts or 2 Ubers, okay? So you're getting a better deal hauling all of you and your friends, if you had like 7 of you or 6 of you in a XL, than you would to do 2 rides. So that's a way to get folks to use this service. I'm getting paid double the fare to do an XL ride, which is way more profitable than just doing normal rides for me, all right? I've been doing this since 2015, so I'm grandfathered in, possibly. It's so hard to tell, but I do make a little more than newer drivers who are coming online right now. So that's something to consider as well in doing research for this. But I will tell you that, yes, that double the fare on XL rides is a thing, even if you're a newer driver. Whatever you're making per mile, you'll double that, or just about double that, when you do XL. So what kind of passengers can you expect to pick up in your XL? And why did I choose the Dodge Grand Caravan? First of all, most of your XL trips are going to be large groups of people. So Friday and Saturday nights. And that's something to warn you about. Picking up groups of drunk people is different than picking up individual drunk people. All right? And I have given bad ratings to passengers who one person in their crew is being a jerk, and it's sad that we have to do that. But yeah, man, if you're gonna come in here and disrespect the swagger wagon, you're not gonna get a good rating from me. If it's one of your bros or one of your lady friends, right? I don't care. Like you're be on your good graces when you're in an XL on a Friday night with your buddies. You get groups of people together, and yeah, people can be a little more obnoxious, it seems. So there's that. I don't work too late into the evening on Friday, Saturday nights for that reason. I usually watch the user ratings, right? When the user ratings start to drop, that's when it's time to go home. So yeah, XL rides, your big money is going to be on groups of people where there's 5 or more. All right. Now, anytime you get a car, if you're in a normal car and somebody shows up with 5 people, that's an XL ride, right? You got to cancel those or tell them to order an XL. You try and squeeze them in your normal car, and God, right? If you're in an accident, or if you're being tested by Uber or Lyft just to see if you'll do it, you'll get deactivated right away. All right. You want to make sure that if you're in a normal car, you're doing 4 people, not 5. Okay, or you'll get in trouble. If you're on an XL ride and somebody orders a ride that's a normal ride, and you got to watch this. That's one thing with the new app. Again, this is time sensitive, right? We're here late July 2019. The color used to be blue. When I got an XL ride, I'd see blue show up and I go, oh, XL ride. But now it's purple, kind of like the shared rides. And so I have to watch and look for the little XL in the corner to make sure, because somebody shows up on a normal ride, and it happens with this vehicle where I have to tell people, yeah, I'm sorry, this is an XL and I can't drive you on a normal Lyft ride. Like, there's different insurance involved and I get paid less. So there's that. I don't just throw that out at passengers, but that's a big part of it, man. You're gonna drive 5 people, you're gonna get paid for that. So yeah, I'll tell them to cancel and order an XL, or they can go ride with somebody else. I'm fine with that too. But I don't drive my XL for free, not just because the money. It's also, there's risk. All right, your contractual obligation with Lyft and Uber to do XL rides and to not drive people who aren't paying for it, and you're ripping yourself off. So don't do that. Another kind of patron that tends to like the XL rides is large people. All right, I picked up a guy just last week or so, and it was an XL ride, and again, thick of tourist season. This guy is alone. He's ordering an XL. I didn't really notice because he got in the van and shut the door, and I said, hey man, just so you know you're being charged a little more when you do XL. And he goes, yeah, I know. And I go, that's cool. And he says, dude, I'm 6'7". He says, I am not riding in another Prius again in my lifetime. So guys like that, man, 6'7", he does not want to ride in a little car. He's perfectly comfortable in this van. He's like, this is the way I want to travel. This is how I'm going to do it. Another one is it's kind of like having a van like this is sort of one notch down from a Lux or a luxury vehicle. This is a 2011. I've heard that the Grand Caravan Cruise, like what this is a crew. They do qualify for luxury vehicles, but they have to be like 2017 now, I think it is, or better, to qualify for that. If you have a town and country, same thing. They want one that's relatively new. But I get, when I'm in Bellevue, Redmond, here in the Seattle area, there's a lot of rich people in that area. Mercer Island is where Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos live. All right, some of the richest people in the world live in this area. But it's funny how in some of those areas I'll get XL requests by people who, maybe a Lux isn't available or close to them, and they'd rather ride in this for a little more luxury than, again, having to squeeze their butts into a Prius, right? No offense, you Prius drivers. As a guy who, I'm 6 foot, right? Uh, 2 bills plus. I'm not excited about riding for, especially a long ride to the airport in traffic in the backseat of a Prius. Sorry. I might pay a little more too if I had the cash. So there's that. Also, and this is the reason I recommend the Dodge Grand Caravan, because the seats fold down in this vehicle, all the seats. I have my cooler there right now, but these seats fold into the floor. So people hire us to haul stuff. And one of the cool things I've seen, I've had passengers who told me that they've canceled on other vehicles. Got an SUV canceled, got a Honda Odyssey or something canceled, and it's so because they know that if there's something big they need to carry, they can do it in one of these vehicles, the Dodge Grand Caravans. I've hauled TVs. Once I hauled a painting from some artist. I went to a gallery in an industrial park, and there's this couple there dressed really nice driving a Tesla. The painting wouldn't fit in their Tesla, so, and it was big. I had to fold the seats down, I had to fold that one down, and we scooted it in here sideways. They put a bunch of stuff around it so it didn't get damaged. Painting. One time a guy bought a TV, like a projection TV. When I pulled up, he was like, "Oh good, I'm glad I got you so quickly." He goes, "I was looking for someone with a Dodge Grand Caravan or a Chrysler Town and Country," basically the same vehicle, Chrysler Town and Country, because I got to go pick up a TV for my good friend after ruining his TV. He said, "I might have accidentally got carried away and put my foot through my buddy's TV while watching a soccer game." So I thought that was pretty funny. So he found on OfferUp, he found the exact same TV his buddy had. And we went and bought it and delivered it to his buddy's house. I thought that was pretty funny. So, yeah, I'd say more than 5 different occasions, I've had passengers tell me that they have canceled other vehicles, other XL vehicles, because they know this will haul the stuff they need to haul. Another guy, he was an Uber exec, I guess, and he was moving to the Seattle area, and he said, "Yeah, man, I used XL to move." He got all his stuff delivered on an airplane, one of these cargo flight things through Alaska Airlines, and yeah, we went to the place, and he loaded up a bunch of boxes, and they fit right in here. So that's another good reason to get this here vehicle, not just any XL. Got Domo right here. He's hanging out. No, that doesn't come with it. This does, though. See that? This little green leaf thing here loses a little power, but when that's on, I get really good gas mileage for a big old 6-cylinder rig. We got lots of cup holders here. This little drawer pulls out. There's cup holders in the door. There's cup holders in the back. And probably the coolest feature that this vehicle has is the seats fold into the floor. Got my emoji pillow right there. Even with the emoji pillow, yeah, flat like that. So, say you have 5 passengers, they want to sit here, gonna pile up a bunch of luggage. It all fits. It's great. Sticker. There's 2 seat belts here. These seats hold 3, and then you could fold this seat down, stack up luggage here, and that's where I put my water, sometimes lunch. But yeah, that's why I like the Dodge Grand Caravan. Also with this here, push that and the doors will open manually, so people aren't tugging them on them all the time. Hey, look, this guy came to visit. It's a grasshopper. Hey, man, hanging out. That's anyway. Squirrel. So yeah, you got these 2 doors. This opens that door, and you can just pop it open. Passenger gets in. You don't have to get out. which is nice. Or they can just, you keep this on and they can open it themselves as well if they're tugging on it. So that's helpful. And with the crew here, you can also open the doors. This is a aftermarket key. But yeah, you can open the doors with the remote as well if your remote is working, which is it's kind of a problem with these vehicles. And how many miles? August 2019, we're up to 210,000 miles. Something else I said in the last video was, minimum wage, and I don't work for $4 an hour, so I didn't rent the car again. Some people might take that as, are you pro minimum wage laws like they did in New York City? Here in Seattle, in the Seattle area, I'm in Everett right now, but in the city of Seattle, there is a $15 minimum wage law in the city, and they've talked about imposing that onto drivers for rideshare. And now you have California passing this law where we're not necessarily independent contractors, which I do agree with to a certain degree. You kind of have a boss, right? Uber and Lyft can let you go for whatever reason. They decide how much we make. Those are not entrepreneur things, right? The boss man's going to tell you how much you make per mile. Yeah, we have the freedom to work whenever we want, and that's where I go with the minimum wage. All right. So I worked in the pizza business for 25 years. I worked sales and marketing for a number of franchise owners, and that's the thing about jobs like this, service jobs, is you kind of got to work when it's busy. There was an article in a newspaper in New York talking about how drivers are being shut off, right? So, you're driving along and all of a sudden the app turns off and Lyft tells you you can get back online, later when they need you. So, and the reason for that is that, doing this, if you want to make money at this, you gotta work certain hours, man. You gotta work rush hour. I know I'm repeating stuff that a lot of other people have said, but it's true. You gotta work rush hour in the morning, rush hour in the evening. Those are gonna make money. There's high demand on Fridays, Saturday nights, Saturday in the Seattle area all day, and Sunday all day long too. It's busy around here, especially when it's tourist season. That's what I'm doing here in the parking lot of the the museum, waiting for rides from Boeing or from the Future Flight Museum. So it's perfectly reasonable for Lyft hiring you as an independent contractor to need you when they need you, and to turn off the app. If you're getting paid $15 an hour, do they really need you driving around, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or, right? Like, it's just not that busy during those times. So when they have X amount of drivers that can cover the load, sure, they'll do that. Again, that's an employee thing too, right? When I was in the pizza business, I remember franchise owners getting in trouble for telling people, like, you're scheduled to work at 4 o'clock. You show up at 4 o'clock, and the manager says, hey, we don't need you yet, so don't clock in yet. Just wait over there. Now that's illegal, right? Like, we shouldn't be doing that. But that's the struggle with the pizza business, is they weren't making enough money to pay everyone, so they needed them to work when dinner rush happened, and that's what they did. And here in the Seattle area, rush hour, Friday, Saturday nights, the weekends, during the day, you're gonna make more than $15 an hour. If I only made $15 an hour, I don't think I'd be wasting my time doing this. It's just not an amount of money that I find worth it. You'll make more than this, but see, that's business, right? This is business and commerce and serving people, and making money from that. When government comes along and forces Lyft, for example, to pay people $15 an hour, then they have to start restricting when they work. It makes sense. I'll link the article underneath, but I'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments, put them in below. And hey, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You know, this industry, the rules, what these companies are doing, these rideshare companies are doing, it changes fast, so it is time sensitive. So yeah, if these videos help. So yes, that's another wonderful thing about being in the rideshare business, is visiting wonderful places that you've never been to before, like this Target, where I can use the bathroom, in Lake Stevens, where I can use the bathroom, maybe buy a refreshment or some pants, right? Target, get everything here. That's right, getting a picture with the Target dog. Hey, if this video was helpful, hit the like button. Thanks again for watching. More videos here, more rideshare videos to come. Hit the bell icon because this content is time sensitive. All right? Or it's archived for historical purposes. When the robots come, there'll be things to watch from the previous world. Thanks again for watching. Bye.